good contribution. But there was an aspect where he said that there is lack of transparency in expenditure regarding this COVID intervention. But Mr. Speaker, for the record, Mr. Speaker, please, Mr. Speaker, factually, we have had the Minister of Finance coming to this House to report on these. The Minister of Health has also come here. So, Mr. Speaker, the terms of contribution under the item we are treating requires that we make brief comments and not get into the arena of debate. If you are being speculative by talking about lack of transparency, when we have reports in this House, unless your argument is to challenge the report and the figures, if you are not, then Mr. Speaker will pray that you order my colleague to get on the path of righteousness. That is, he should not continuously be arguing on that line because it's misleading and is not anchored on fact. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member may continue.
Thank you, right?
Please.
Honourable Speaker.
Yes, wind up. We have an important item to take. So please, if you may conclude.
Thank you, right? In conclusion, and to emphasize and make myself more clear, I said the Director General of the Ghana Health Service and his colleague directors have been doing very well in giving updates. But what I find missing is updates on revenue and expenditure on COVID. And there's a need for us, all of us, to be transparent on the revenue and expenditure figures. So, Mr. Speaker, in concluding on the schools being reopened or about to be reopened, we don't think or make doubt whether our schools have been adequately prepared for reopening. And I'm saying that that call is right, and the government has to do very well to ensure that the necessary facilities, the necessary preparations are done at our schools before we reopen. And on the vaccine, what I'll say is that as a country, as Ghanaians, we should not be afraid. We shouldn't be quick to say the vaccines are bad or good. Let's rely on the necessary authorities to ensure that safe and efficacious vaccines are brought quickly to ensure that the fight against COVID-19 is achieved. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Honourable members, this brings us to the end of statements. We will now move to, well, it's also coming in the form of statements. Item 4, by leadership, on the determination of the formula for composition of membership of committees, parliamentary delegations, and other parliamentary groups and associations. Leadership, are you ready to make the statement?
Speaker, in consultation with my colleague, the Honourable Member in charge of the NDC caucus in the House, in respect of the formula for the composition of membership of committees. Mr. Speaker, we have related to the prime committees to be formed, not parliamentary groups and associations for the time being. At an appropriate time, we shall deal with that. I will have been in consultation, and we've arrived at some conclusion. Unfortunately, I've just been informed that my colleague has had to travel out to Tamale because of the transition of an uncle of his. But that indeed represents the state of affairs now. So I guess if it's agreeable, then I could present the paper that we have written and submit to the House. But first, preliminary discussions, I guess, is what they've written here as statement. It's really relating to the course of events, respect to the discussions that we have had relating to the determination of the formula for the composition of membership of committees in the House. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much.
Yes, the available leader.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, per the consultations of leadership as I'm aware, and looking at the numbers as we have now, I don't see the difficulty in the computation of the figures, given the 3 committees that we have to be constituted as soon as possible. Especially the committee on selection, of which you are the chairman, is clear, which is going to be composed of 20 members. Given the numbers that we have, I think that committee has to be put in place, and the numbers either 137 or 138. If you have 20, it will be 10-10. After which, if leadership will have to go into conclave again and come up with the ratio which I know is conspicuous and known, 49.8 and 50.1 is 50-50 approximately to the nearest whole numbers. We learned this one when we were in elementary school, so we have no difficulty in computing that mathematics at all. The 2 other committees, Mr. Speaker, will be appointment committees, which is 26, and if it is 50, it will be 13-13, and the business committee, which is 20, will be 10-10. So, Mr. Speaker, in order not to waste time, we have to put emphasis on the committee on selection, of which is going to be 20 members, and I agree that when he says we have to do that one first. So without wasting more time, I think the committee of selection will have to be constituted. The formula, which is so conspicuous and known to everybody, will have no difficulty in computing at all. So with these few words, Mr. Speaker, I raise my case.
Honourable members, we now move to the commencement of public business.